Hey, it's me, Steve. It is May 31st, 2017. Time is 17:01. Temperature 73 degrees Fahrenheit out. And today I'm going to talk about a pseudoscientific topic, one in particular, and that's ancient astronaut theory. And it's not a theory, at least not a scientific one. It's an idea and a concept. And the basic premise itself isn't necessarily unscientific. Basically, Daniken and the other proponents look at the complexity of things ancient humans built and attribute it to a higher intelligence. Because it's so complex, they don't think ancient people could have done these things. But complexity is not an argument for superior intelligence. Okay, but that's not the reason why it's not a scientific a concept or an idea. The reason why it's not a scientific concept or idea is because if you're going to sit there and say and go, and they do some detailed stuff and they cherry pick. There's several sites in particular where they do this, especially in that series. But they see all these complex designs and stuff, and they just can't conceive how ancient people with primitive tools could have done this. Well, that's fine and all, but like I said, complexity is not evidence of a superior, intelligence interfering, okay? So they've gone out and they have yet to produce any physical, tangible, testable evidence of this concept, okay? These sites, and they'll leave these out a lot of these sites they talk about, and I think Pikachu is one of them. I think that's the one with the sandstone and andesite, the one with the blocks that are shaped oddly but at angles, but they all fit perfectly together. I think it's this one. Double check me on this, because I'm not 100% sure. I'm about 80% sure on this one. But there's a quarry nearby with rocks being cut out that were left, just not finished, and, primitive tools laying around. They conveniently leave that out, okay? But there's a core problem with the whole concept, that aside. And that's the idea, well, if you're going to sit there and claim aliens either directly taught people how to build these things, or built them themselves, or gave them the tools to do it, you need to identify these aliens, okay? And they can't do that. You can't even get to the hypothesis stage here in a scientific theory. You can get to the initial idea and concept, but they can't define that. And if you're going to, that's the kind of claim where if you're going to claim that, you need evidence for your core. They don't even have that. They don't. They've got, they've got an orange with a peel and no fruit inside. All right. There's no consensus. I mean, they have lots of, ideas what they could be, but there's no consensus on what these aliens could even be. Are they from a nearby star system? Are they interdimensional? What do they look like? How would they be? Whatever there's no consensus. Remember what I said, a scientific theory needs consensus. And the only way to get consensus is through actual evidence. Okay? You can't use, old books or, something like that, because people make up stories. People who don't understand things make things up. What you perceive a pictograph to be may not have been what that author was intending, especially if it was in a dead or unknown language. So you need to be, so that they have no core, okay? And if they did, it would need some entertaining, but there are other theories there that people sit there and say, well, there's no core either, like the theory of evolution. Well, where did life begin? Well, evolution doesn't tell us how life began on Earth. That's not the purpose of the theory. The theory is simply the change of organisms through time. That's essentially it, how organisms change through time, okay? I mean, it's a little more complex. The definition's been refined, but it has nothing to do with the actual origin of life. That's a biochemical problem, and we're probably pretty close to solving it. But so, and now if they sat there and said something slightly different, instead of saying ancient astronauts did this, maybe there was a core civilization like Atlantis that actually had more technology and stuff, at least you could go out along, on Earth and look for such a thing. But the problem with Atlantis is somewhat similar. You still have to define, if you're going to sit there and say an ancient technological human civilization gave all these people this data and information on how to build this stuff, well, where were they? No one's ever produced any evidence for that either. But anyway, that's just my thoughts, and I may dig deeper into this sometime in the future, but I hope you learned something.